I truly believe in is no matter how much back testing you do, no matter how much studying you do, I think trading is mostly psychology. I think that trading is mostly spiritual, and I don't care, how much you back test. If you don't have this, in check, you're not going to see success trading. And for me, I've been very blessed over the last, few weeks that I've been seeing a lot of success in the markets. And I have to give a huge testament to God, number one. That is like the foundation pillar. And also this book that I'm currently reading is called the Neville Collection, All Books of Modern Master. If you're a day trader, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're someone that wants to obviously excel, this is definitely something I recommend that you purchase. Now, there's a chapter in the book. This book has literally two, four, six, eight. It has 10 books in one. There is a book that I just finished reading within the book called Prayer, the Art of Believing. And I'm just going to read literally one page of that chapter because I think that it relates a lot to trading and it can help anybody that is struggling. And when you understand it in the right context, it's going to help you overall just grow in the game of day trading 1,000,000%. So it says this, the subtitle is called The Greatest Prayer. It says imagination is the beginning of creation. You imagine what you desire and then you believe it to be true. Every dream could be realized by those self-disciplined enough to believe it. Now, I want you to think about this for a second. How many people that want the lavish life, that want the massive success, that want the funded accounts, the big withdrawals. This year, by the grace of God, I've been able to extract money out of the markets by the grace of God on a consistent basis, and I have obviously my skill sets to credit, but you have to understand this. And I think that I learned this through my time in MLM. And that's why this is why I will never like discredit my moment when I was in it. Because number one, I saw a lot of success. I wasn't like any of these jackasses that just quit and made not a single dollar. Like I was making like some really good money with it. And it's because like I truly believed in what the fuck I was doing. I truly believed in what I was saying. I truly believed in what I was promoting at the time. And it was because, just like Neville says in this chapter, imagination is the beginning of creation. Your image, you imagine what you desire and then you believe it to be true. There was moments that I was going to meetings and I didn't have any money, but I was speaking like I was someone that had a lot of money. And it wasn't that I was flaunting and, having these, chains or whatever. No, it was the way that I carried myself. It was the way that I spoke. It was the way that I articulated information. And that all came from that powerful point that says, you imagine what you desire and then you believe it. I truly believed it. And I think for me, when I first started trading, I really struggled a lot because I was and I said this in one of my most recent Instagram videos. If you don't have me on Instagram, make sure you follow me, Trades with Johnny. Follow. I drop a lot of content relating to trading, psychology, and God and whatnot. But I was too fixated on my current right now situation. I think too many traders, they focus on that way too much. They're in their evaluation state of their account and they're doing extremely bad or they're doing extremely good, but they're not so excited about it because it's an evaluation stage. Why don't you mind fuck yourself? Because again, our mind is not going to understand what we're relating to it. It's only going to understand one thing, and that's the feeling. Why don't you start feeling that this evaluation is actually a past account and you've already passed your 5 days for your qualification of minimum $150 and now you're going to get your $2,000 payout. Like, just really think about that. Embody that and see how that makes you feel. You're going to start trading better. You're going to start feeling better. And you have to, like I said, you almost have to mind fuck yourself. And that's exactly what I did when I was in MLM. That's how I literally grew so quickly in that industry because I mind fucked myself to truly believe that I was a person that I was envisioning myself to be. When I was talking to prospects, I literally had the thought process that you are going to sign up, because I internally believe, in a majority of the time people would, because I would make them feel like, damn, they would say no to me obviously on the spot, but they'd be like, they'll probably be home and something will arise and they'd be like, shit, man, that guy Johnny talked to me about this making money online thing. And a few days later, they'll be like, yo, I'm ready to get started. Why? It's because right from the beginning, I imagined what I desired, and then I believed it to be true. That's what you have to do with your trading. Start looking at your trading the exact same way. Mindfuck yourself that you are due success. That why the hell can't you get a payout? Why can't you get four $2,000 payouts in a monthly span every single week? Why? And embody that feeling, because that's going to help you move in the right direction. Like, so many people, they think, yo, I have to back test, you have to put in work. Somebody that I know recently messaged me saying that they're on a losing streak, and they're like, yo, like, I know why I'm losing this, because I'm not putting enough chart time. I said whatever, but I beg to differ, because this person is not a retard. This person is not a dumbass. This person is not stupid. He's actually quite smart. I don't think he's right spiritually, in my humble opinion. And he's not going to break through unless he starts living in that wish fulfilled. Now, the chapter goes on. Neville says every dream could be realized by those self-disciplined enough to believe it. People are what you choose to be. People are what you choose to make them. A man is according to the manner in which you look at him. You must look at him with different eyes before he will be objectively changed. Two men looked from prison bars. One saw mud and the other saw stars. Now, think how that relates to trading. Two guys. I talk about this all the time. Two people. They both have evaluation accounts. And one person is just passes evaluation account, and he's like, damn, I gotta do this all over again. And the other guy passes evaluation account, but he has a thought process that, yo, like, I am gonna get my payout now because I passed my evaluation. I just need a few more trades positive to get my payout. Who do you think is gonna be vibrating more frequently? Because they're both in the same situation. They're both entrapped in the same thing. They're both like in the same fucking room. But it's about how you look out in the bars. There's a Bible verse of this gentleman called Daniel, and he was thrown in a pit of lions. And rather than him focusing on the lions behind him that were hungry, that were likely to eat him and devour him, what he focused on is hope. What he focused on was having the belief that he's going to come out alive. And the lions never ate him. Because again, like it says here, two men looked from prison bars. One saw mud and the other saw stars. It's about how you view your current situation. I always say this to anyone that asks me about trading advice. I think so many fucking people shoot themselves in the foot before they even execute a sell or a buy position. But because it's the way they look at their view from their personal prison bars. Because I think everyone is in some sort of prison. Maybe it's mentally from lack of money. Maybe it's mentally from lack of self-belief. Maybe it all stems from mentally. Maybe it's mentally from the fear of judgment of others. Everyone is in some sort of prison mentally, but it's how you look at it and what you see outside. You need to, I always say this, you need to mind fuck yourself. That is how I did it. When I was in MLM, and I always use this as an example because it's the realest fucking shit in the world. When I was in multi-level marketing, at one point, I was making nearly 10 grand a month. not from MLM sales residually, but from other avenues. But the main pillar, like I'll say about like 89 to like 90% of my income was MLM. Like 90% of my income was MLM. And it was nearly to 10 grand a month. And it was because like I didn't see my prison, my little box that I was in, like I was currently seeing it. I saw opportunity. That was during COVID, when I lost my job, when I had all the fucking time in the world, when the world shut down, when I said fuck you to the vax, and I said, yo, I'm not getting this shit, and I couldn't go to the gym, I couldn't do anything. I gained like 40 pounds, I got fat. And I said, I'm gonna use this time and I'm gonna make sure I come out of this better. And I did. I saw an exceptional amount of success with multi-level marketing, and it was my full-time thing for nearly like almost 40 years. But the whole purpose of that is this specific verse. It says, 2 men looked from prison bars, one saw mud and the other saw stars. So ask yourself specifically right now, you watching this, maybe you're struggling in trading, maybe you're brand new into trading. What are you currently seeing outside of your prison bars? Because like I mentioned, I don't care who you are, how much money you have, how much food you have in your fridge. Everyone has a mental prison that they're in. What do you see when you're looking out of that? Because if you can master what happens here in the 6 inches in your head, you can master your life. Everyone, like, again, people always ask me, like, bro, like, I'm trying to get good at trading. What do I know? What do I do? Like, I'm not seeing success. I'm not putting enough time in the market. No, it's like you're not mastering your mind. Because it's not, like, learning how to trade is very, very simple. Learning market structure, learning strategy, learning all that jazz, it's very, very, it's not, you're not learning Chinese. You're not learning French. You're not learning Indian or whatever they fucking speak. You're learning very simplistic thing. You're learning market structure. You're learning candlestick patterns. You're learning how to read trends. What's very hard is for people to see stars from their prison that they're currently in mentally. And I think if more people adopt that and understand that, they'll be far better traders. That's why for me, I'm making an effort to put a lot of videos of like psychology and mindset, because some people might view this as hocus pocus bullshit, but I'm telling you, this is the thing that's going to help you with your trading success. That is what has helped me. Like, see it consistently, long term. That's what I'm going to keep doing. It says this, to him, poverty is but the sleep of wealth. He does not see caterpillars, but painted butterflies. Not winter, but summer sleeping. Not man in want, but Jesus sleeping. Jesus who scattered the evil with his eye is asleep with the imagination of every man. And out of his own imagination must man awaken him by subjectively affirming, I am Jesus. Meaning, let's break that whole thing up and how it relates to trading. So, the last part, affirming I am Jesus. We are God's highest form of creation. We're the only species in the world, obviously that I know of, that we can pre-play our future, that we can rewind and watch our past. And either or feeling that gives you can dictate your current mood, which will dictate where you basically go towards. I'm going to repeat it again. We are God's highest form of creation. We are the only species in the world, based on my knowledge, that we can pre-play our future and we can rewatch our past. And no matter which avenue you choose, it is going to give us something called a feeling. And that feeling is going to give us a vibration, and that vibration is going to give us some sort of action, and that action is going to guide us to either or direction. Why do you think most Hispanics, most African American families, they struggle with poverty? Because no one fucking teaches them this shit. No one teaches them to stop thinking about their past, because it's gonna put them in a shitty mood. There's a Google article. $1 stays in the Black community for an average of 6 hours, compared to 17 days in white communities, 20 days in Jewish communities, and 30 days in Asian communities. And why is that? It's because most people think in their past. It puts them in a shitty feeling, and that's what dictates their future. Remember, you're God's highest form of creation. You can have anything that you want. Why, when I joined MLM in 2020, I started with no money, and there was people that started with a lot of fucking money, and I ran laps on them because I subconsciously did this without me even knowing. Because I'm a firm believer that I am God's highest form of creation, and so should you. Start pre-playing your fucking future and internally feel it. Stop thinking about your past. Stop thinking about your failures. To him, poverty is not but sleep of wealth. Money is already on its way to you. I had a Zoom call with someone that I'm helping trading. I help a few people with trading. Nothing crazy, because obviously it takes a lot of work, and it's a huge reflection of people who are lazy, and it's a huge reflection of people who are just who want it. Anyways, I asked the guy, "How's your day been?" And he told me, he's like, "Bro, my day's been going like shit, blah, 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 X, Y, Z, and D." What did I say previously? We are God's highest form of creation. Whatever you say after I am, you are affirming. When someone asks me how my day is going, I don't give no attention to bullshit that's going on. I don't say, "Oh, my life is so hard. I have this, I have that, I have this." You know what I say to people when they ask me how my day is going? I say to them, it's going fucking immaculate. It's going prosperous. I don't even know that's a freaking word. I tell them that it's going gorgeous. If anybody ever asks my mom, like when people ask me that question around her, I always say, "I'm doing gorgeous. I'm doing beautiful. I'm doing so great. I'm doing so good that if I'm doing even better, it would be fucking illegal." Why? Because, what did I say at the beginning? You have either two options. You have an option to pre-play your future. We're the only creature in the world that can do this. We can pre-play our future, make us feel good, and take positive actions to that future. Or we can think about our past, feel like shit, not do shit, and have that same outcome happen to us again. He does not see caterpillars, but painted butterflies to be. Maybe you're trading on a funded account right now, and you're in an evaluation stage. Why don't you look at your evaluation like you already passed your challenge? Watch how you trade that thing. Watch how you feel when you trade. And just repeat this process over and over again. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Not winter, but summer sleeping. Not man in wants, but Jesus sleeping. Think in fucking abundance. I want to end it off with this. Number one, buy this freaking book if you are a day trader. It's helped me a lot. It's called The Neville Collection, All Books of Modern Mastery. And by the way, everything that I'm saying right now can be used and applied to anything that you do in the world, whether it's a career, whether it's you're trying to play basketball. Maybe you're like me, you're trying to play basketball at the next level and you want to, just play the sport for whatever fucking reason. I think it's a waste of time, but that's just me, because that's, 10 years me out of that era of my life. You are God's highest form of creation. You are like a god. We are the only creatures in the world that can either pre-play our future or rewatch our past, both which will create a feeling internally. This feeling will allow us to take some sort of action that would either push us closer to our wish fulfilled or our desire, or repel us and push us towards that feeling of feeling like shit. Both which will give us a different outcome. Both which are stemmed from a feeling, from both which are stemmed from a thought, either towards your desire, or pre-playing your future, in your desire, or thinking about your past. And that's going to put you in a frequency. You're going to take some sort of action. You're going to have some sort of result based on that. And a lot of people might say, oh, that's all bullshit. That's hocus pocus. That's not real. Okay, buddy. Go to your local subsidized housing community and go talk to people and see how they're thinking. Now, go to the wealthy areas in your city and see how people are thinking. Hopefully, guys, this video brought you some value. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'll be coming out with a new trading video very soon, but I really want to harp on psychology. This book is amazing. Again, if you're a day trader, buy the book. It's probably one of the greatest investments that you can make, because day trading and just life in general, being something outside of average is very psychological. It's very mindset. It's very very like you need God, you need a foundation, you need to master your mind, because the action can only take you so far. Because I can get on the charts and study like 60 million hours, but if internally I feel like shit, if I feel scared, if I can't control this, I'm going to lose every position that I take.